Hello everyone. Let's take a minute and go over some charts for this week. Not really going to cover the S&P. We cover that in the other chart video, the daily chart video. We did add a few the oscillators. We added those charts in and a few others for this week. Still be definitely watching Tesla. So this is BJ's. The big box stores took a beating on Walmart's earnings. Everybody gapped down on them. So we're watching for these gap fills. Some of them have filled. BJ's is right back here testing, back above the 9 and 20. MACD looks decent. If we do push up, maybe we can push into the 200 here. This is Bros. Nice little rounded bottom down here, flagging, waiting on the 9. The 9's catching up. Moving on expanding volume. MACD looks decent. Not crazy about that big red bearish volume candle there at all. FANG looks good in the utility sector. A lot of the utilities are still grinding up due to rising crude energy costs. Flagging into the 9 here. DLO, high tight flag, moving on expanding volume. This is in the payment sector for cross-border type payments. Dollar General, this too took a beating on the numbers, Walmart's numbers, when they come in. All the box stores pull back. It has pushed back up and is trading in this channel here, trading on good volume, so it's been moving on expanding volume. See if we can regain some of this bearish volume that was sold and maybe try to push up out of this channel. If we can pull below this line, maybe we can come back down for a gap fill. GME just really had a nice 2-day pop. Nice flagpole, flagging right into the 9 here. It's holding the 50 while the 9 catches up. Just a good sign, moving on expanding volume. Showing relative strength. At least for those 2 days it showed some relative strength. Right now it's just hanging out waiting on this 9 to catch up. Could push up. Generac flagged right here, pushed up back above the 50. Nice rounded bottom here. This chart I can see is this basing here, letting the 9 catch up and then pushing up. It's worth keeping an eye on. GOGL, been bullish on this for a while. Put this really nice base in. Put ascending triangle in and has pushed up. It's got a nice little tabletop right here. You could probably draw a new trend line right through here. See it's coiling in there, but nice little tabletop there. Looks like it wants to push up. MACD's trying to pinch. Histogram's trying to grow. Decent volume on the move up. MAXR had a big spike, formed a nice little flag here, waiting on the 9 to catch up, holding the 20. The 50 would be the target if we push here. You have a decent flagpole, so this could make a decent move. MKC, I just want to point out that Kraft Heinz is basically the same thing. Have a little rounded bottom here, back below the 200. So I'd look for possibly a retest of this 200, or we could even gap down. But as long as we're below this 200, we're bearish. Kraft Heinz as well. NOC, symmetrical triangle, nice breakout here. Moving on volume. All the news coming in about Ukraine and Russia and us supplying weapons, them having to, the United States having to replace those weapons, is bullish for these defense companies. This is a really nice pattern. Breaking out, see what it does tomorrow. This could break out. Look for could continue the breakout. Look for resistance on this wick as well. MACD looks good, nice pinch there. SBLK, bullish on maritime shipping right now. Zim as well. So you can see it pushing up out of this base here, and it's formed another little base. This is preparing for a nice move. MACD looks decent. See this little pinch right there, moving on decent volume. TDC coming for a gap fill here. You can see this may see some rejection here. I don't know much about the company. It is, higher lows, so it is trying to trend up. Usually when we get these gap fills, the first reaction is a pullback, so it's worth keeping an eye on. Tesla, this is just another view. Don't want to spend too much time on Tesla. We'll be covering it in the other charts, the other chart video. Gap down. So we do have a gap here to the upside. We come down and we fill this gap. Tesla's putting in a base down here, bearish on it. I'm not one to bet against Mr. Musk, but right now we are bearish on Tesla for the short term, with the news coming in about laying 10% of the employees off. This is Tesla's monthly chart. It's another chart we don't show. These two charts are not on the day trading list. These are just different looks at it. This is the weekly chart. So we're got down below this resistance level, was support, breached below it, now resistance. We did push back up last week, or the week before. Last week ended up closing down bearish. We all know what happened Friday. We traded it Friday, looking to get some more short side on it again this week. MACD's bearish. Say that is the weekly chart. This is USO. A lot of people are calling for the market. A lot of people right now are saying the bottom's in. I am not so sure. A lot of people were saying that we're going to get a huge pullback in crude and energy. I'm not really so sure. This is USO. This has built a nice base here, and it's pushing up, and it's in no hurry. Just a nice steady grind. So it's built a big base here as well, pushing up. This base can give us a really nice move. UPST, this is, we do watch this one in the other videos or the other list as well. So we're back testing support here. Still have this gap here to fill. Kind of looking like we're going to get some little double topish action here. If we can get below this 9 and 20 here, then we're going to look for the short side. For it to be a double top, we would have to take the neckline out to confirm it. Your neckline would be right through here, and if we do get that, we can expect a couple dollar move to the downside down to here. Then that would give us a double bottom and possibly push back up. But either way, pattern or no pattern, we are bearish below this level here. So we have a low, and we are unable to put in a higher high here so far. So just looking at the price waves, seeing resistance at the same area, we could possibly see a move down. There for a while, it seemed like they wanted to come after the payment sector, and it has definitely cooled off. These metal stocks were trying to turn bullish. So you can see right here, did we just break out of a bear flag? X has put in a nice bear flag here, and we broke below it Friday. It's coming back trying to retest it. We're below all our major moving averages. Could definitely see a pullback on the metal plays. Starting to see the same look across a lot of them. AA as well, the aluminum. VET, this is an energy company, putting in a nice base here, grinding up, testing resistance, see if we can get a breakout. OHH, just a little cup action right here, coming back, trying to put in a little handle, see if we can. We did test the resistance and pull back. This is really the level of interest right here. It's taking out this level to see if we can push up. MACD looks good on that one. XP, NEO has earnings this week, so we definitely want to watch NEO. Those numbers released, numbers were down. Considering everything that's going on in China with the COVID, it's understandable. NEO's numbers were ridiculous. We're not going to go over NEO's chart in this video, but it looks like XP is trying to change here. It may just trade sideways, but you're steady getting lower lows, and it put in a higher low here. See where we go here. See if we put in a higher high. Just something to keep an eye on. Could, you know, act as resistance right here and snatch down, which we are below our 50 here, laying right on top. So we're above everything else, but we are still below the 50 here. So that is resistance. But the price waves themselves are trying to change character. Just worth keeping an eye on. It's not a stock I prefer to trade myself, but I know a lot of the members like the Chinese EVs. So this is APO. And it's been trading in this broadening channel here. See where we ended up breaking below it down here, but it's come back up to test the top of the trend, waiting on this 9 to catch up. 9's catching up. We could, MACD looks like it's possibly wanting to roll here. We could take this out. It's just that a lot of stocks are at a big level. We need to watch the top of this trend line and to see if we do take it out. If not, we could see a rejection there and catch some downside on that. APP. This one's trading in a channel as well. Put in this bottom ascending triangle down here. MACD looks decent, trading on volume, moving on expanding volume. So let's see if we can get a breakout of this bottom ascending triangle. If we do, we have to clear the downtrend. We could see resistance here and get a pullback, and maybe we can take a short, some put plays on it. This is the oil equipment and services industrial chart. This is your SLB, your Halliburton, your Baker Hughes. This is a really nice looking chart. It's broke out of this little cup here. It's put in a nice base, formed this little cup. It has pushed up out of it. Once again, a lot of people were saying that the energy names are coming to an end. Just want to show signs, you know, I'm seeing putting in nice bases and we can get big moves out of these bases. It could be to the downside too, but right now the charts are looking bullish. We put in some nice bases so we can get some big moves out of these bases. Aflac, a lot of the insurance companies are the same way. Pushed right into the 50, flagged right into the 9. See what happens here. The MACDs are trying to roll. We never even took back the zero line. NTR. So the 200 moving average on the weekly is support here. We are below our major moving averages. Another one of the commodity plays that's in the material sector. This is actually in the chemical sector, I do believe. Either way, it's showing some weakness, but as noted on the chart, if you want to go in looking for shorts, keep an eye on that 200 on the weekly chart. It is support. Tech, this is another name. Put in a little double bottom down here. It's not super textbook, but it actually is a nice little double bottom. It's actually took the neckline out already. This would be your neckline. Has a level of resistance here. You can see 44.39, 44.38. It's definitely struggled in this area. See where we, if we can take this out, look for calls on this. It's not super liquid. It's not one you want to be in to have to move in and out of. It's not very liquid at all. It is tradable with options, but not always at the pace that we like to trade them in. Sometimes it could be a nice slower name to go after on a ranging day, but it's just not one of those ones we move in and out of these puts and calls with these faster moving stocks. This is X on the weekly. You can see a little bear flag here. See how we're pushing up right into our 50, our 9's rolling over. MACD's bearish. We could definitely see a move down on some of these metal plays. Once again, here's your bear flag. This one, same chart. One of these two charts should have been took out. This one is not the way I drew this bottom line. We are still in the flag itself. So we need to see, we are below all the major moving averages. We need to see what we do here. Just a big spot. We could pull back. AMD. I don't want to spend too much time talking about AMD because we cover it every day. But I just wanted to point out that the Bollinger Bands are opening up. See how this is opening up right here? So it looks like it does want to make a move to the upside. We are above our 50 now, holding the 50. The 9's catching up. We're above the 20. We are riding the outside of the Bollinger Band. So we could get a pullback to the 9 and then, push back up. This is the weekly chart of AMD, and you can see we kind of took the downtrend out, but if you draw it staying within the wicks, we are still at an area of interest. We are moving on volume. This MACD on the weekly is trying to cross. So this chart actually looks good. If this 50 is a big spot here on the weekly. So your 113.21, that's a big spot to watch for this week if we do push back up. Seen some trouble last week at the 108 area. NFE. This is in the utility sector. Really nice ascending triangle here on the daily. Just another nice looking chart worth keeping an eye on. This is the NFE's weekly chart. You can see we're testing resistance here. Just putting in a nice little base here on the 9, trying to get above this, basically a resistance zone here. So it's going to struggle a little bit right here. If we can just get through this, it'll give us some room to move. Get through this area we're at right now. This is a stock I took off I have a list with Investor Business Daily's stocks into it. I don't really follow their buy signals, but we do track the stocks and the reports in the stocks, but we don't really listen to their buys and sells. But this is a nice looking setup here. Nice little cup. Like I say, it is one of their holdings. MACD looks decent. Volume's been a little light. Decent volume on Friday, but it's been moving on some fairly light volume, which is actually good when you're coming down to the dip and like at the bottom of your bases on the pullbacks. You really want to see lighter volume there, and then volume here for the move up. So it's a decent looking chart showing a relative strength. This is the weekly for a wire, breaking out of a nice base here. CEG, this is another one that's in the utility sector. Got a nice little breakout here when we posted this on the watch list. Posted this cup and got a nice grind up. Found resistance up here. It's put in another little cup. Pulled back for a little handle here. Pushing up. Watch it. It is into the Bollinger Band here. So, and we are above the 9. So in a perfect world, we would like to see this 9 push up underneath their candle to help push us up. I don't know how the options trade on that. This is crude. Just wanted to show how crude's breaking out of this nice little base here. DBC, this is a commodities chart. This is a commodities ETF. You can see that we are breaking out. Everybody's screaming that oil is coming to an end. Some of the commodities do look like they're coming to an end, like the metal plays for now anyway. But this chart shows us breaking out of a nice base and ascending triangle here. Amgen, we posted this chart a week ago, last week. We got the gap fill, and I believe it was 2 weeks ago, and we were looking for a break of this level. We got it. It pushed right up into resistance. Right now we have a possible double top. It's worth watching. The big pharma names like BMY are breaking down as well, so they're worth keeping an eye on to the downside. Microsoft guided down this week, just not good. Microsoft was also trading weaker than a lot of other stocks. These stocks have pushed up, taken out their downtrends. Microsoft never took its downtrend out, so we could look for downside here. Microsoft couldn't take the downtrend out. Trading weaker than the market overall. It did have a good day Thursday, but trading weaker overall. They also guided down. So there's a lot going on with it. Price actions bearish below this support/resistance. I would like to get below the 9 and 20, but overall we are bearish on Microsoft. Well, that concludes it for this video. I hope to see everybody in the trading room.